Right. Now on to some news. Um, CM Punk is expected to be back in April. Where he will show up, nobody knows at this point. Or will he just go into the good night? Kaliko, should we be talking about CM Punk after
No,
already?
no, no. And I know why you asked me because I'm the Stan. But even the Stan has to stand for what's right, right? Until he make amends on what happened, he needs to make amends with a whole group of people before he even sets foot. Now, granted, people are going to want to work with him, but right now his name is dealt with toxic, so he's got to have a whole image rebuild before he even talks about it.
Do you think if he makes those amends that we will see him? Is he willing to do an amends? I feel like he kind of is.
Won't believe it till I see it. Like that's the thing. You gotta won't believe it till you see it happen. And some people are gonna like him regardless and see his point, which I get it. I see his point sometimes, but he went there thinking that he went there with the mentality that he despised. So that's where he has to make the amends, where he looks at himself in the mirror and realizes he became the person he hated. Remember that speech? You are what you hate, CM Punk. So until that happens, I kind of got nothing else to say. I still think he's a good wrestler. Still think he was a catalyst in me getting back to wrestling. But until all that happens, I have nothing else to say.
What say you, Scooter?
Uh, I can only imagine what the reaction would be if Punk was the post WrestleMania Raw return.
So you think that it's legitimately a possibility that he goes to WWE?
I would not I would not put it I would not put it out of mind uh just yet. I think if anything, I really think that's what happens. Um, but other than that, who knows?
Well, like you said, who knows at this point? If you believe rumor and innuendo, Ace Steel was apparently at Royal Rumble trying to broker a deal for Punk to come to the company. Whether you believe that or not, I didn't see anybody with teeth marks on them. Um, so I don't. Who knows at this point? But would Tony Khan even how if he knew what was up, Tony Khan, would he even allow something like that to happen? Considering
Well,
Punk is still under contract, as far as we
well,
know with AEW.
well, let's not forget that Tony placed sent out another letter about contract tampering,
That's right.
suppo- supposedly. Like, okay, you can't talk to these people anymore. But I mean, is God is is. Oh no, I would say no, there'd be only one person. There would only be one person I would want to see him against in the WWE, regardless. So,
Who would that be?
Bray Wyatt.
CM Punk versus Bray Wyatt?
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely a visual.
Maybe Punk Gunther.
Oh my god, Gunther would squish him.
I know, maybe that's how you humble him.
I mean, it seems like every time I go on Twitter at this point, CM Punk is always trending. Why, after everything that happened, let's go for as far as the 7 years that he was out from WWE. Why is he always trending? Why is he always the topic of discussion when there isn't even an inkling of him doing anything?
Remember, trending doesn't necessarily mean popular.
That is true.
I guess so.
The war in Ukraine trends doesn't mean it's popular.
Especially in the Ukrainian and Russian area. Speaking of unpopular, Thunder Rosa made a comeback to AEW. Not as a wrestler, but as an announcer for the Spanish announce team. Apparently, there was a backstage meeting where she had to make amends with some of the girls she had heat with. Kaliko, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, she made amends, so they're cool with it. I'm cool with it. I just wish that I just hope this is just her doing double duty, kind of like Jericho, because I think that division needs more gatekeepers, and Thunder Rosa is one good gatekeeper to be the test person. Like, if you beat her, you're kind of ready for the title shot.
Well, she's still currently injured, dealing with a back injury. So obviously she's not going to be gatekeeping at this point. But what are your thoughts, Scudo?
I mean, honestly, I think this is relatively minor news. Let's not, let's not sugarcoat things. The foreign announced teams have will always be seen as inferior to non-native speakers, and that includes how foreigners react to the U.S. commentators as well. It's not just us thinking we much rather hear it in English. But Thunder Rosa is part of the Spanish announce team. Hooray!
Well, so I'm assuming you didn't do your research and listen to AEW in Spanish in order to get a feel of what she's doing.
Su mamá con mi perro en la biblioteca.
I'm the only one
That's right.
sacrificing things for
I said your mama's with my dog in the library.
Oh, All I do is bolsa en la basura. Bolsa en la basura. I should make a song like that in reggaeton and it'll be killer.
Do you think it's somewhat inappropriate that AEW management had her literally go in front of the other girls and essentially make amends with them? Is it that like a humbling experience? Is that you know?
Yes,
Yeah,
humility is a. She won the
yes.
title and kind of became like, I'm above it.
Uh, Plus, you also have to like wonder: is this something she wanted?
That's the question.
Did she, did she want to be part? I mean, I'm assuming it's either this or get flat out released. Um, since I don't believe the WWE would be interested.
I mean, how could I read
I
reports
mean,
a while back ago that they were, but
maybe
how could they not?
with the fact that yeah, Mexican and Hispanic and luchadores are they're kind of coming back into the spotlight. With that Netflix show with, with Rey Mysterio, where Rey Mysterio's voice is in Spanish is actually dubbed over, despite the fact that he can speak perfect Spanish. Um,
That makes absolutely no sense, but okay.
exactly. I plus can she still is she still able to get in the ring?
Well, as of right now, I've heard she has all the intentions of getting back in the ring. She's dealing with a back injury.
But you know, this seems to be a curse with AEW.
Great talent getting injured.
No, when they put talent that could eventually get back into the ring, they either end up never getting back in the ring or they just end up, you know, doing something menial. Mark Henry, Paul White, Chris Jericho, Jake Hager's cat.
Christian!
Don't put,
Christian!
don't pretend like you don't sing the song when you go to the event.
Uh, I mean, Jungle Jew Jack Perry. Uh,
Did you say
it's
Jungle Dew? I mean, he does
no
have great
Jungle,
hair.
no Jungle Jew.
Yeah.
Jew versus Christian. God,
Mm,
nobody remembers this Paul Heyman comment from Edge Christian at Rebellion 2001,
Rebellion 2001? Okay.
in the steel cage, where Paul Heyman goes, you know, I don't go around naming my son Jew.
okay, but that would make sense because that was a UK only paid preview.
Well,
What were we talking about again?
I think we were talking about
The Bengal pose?
Fish, um, Captain Stabbin.
Cool. Alright, that brings us to our next bit of news. WWE interested in Kenny Omega, Jay White, Kota Ibushi, Tamatonga, and Hikuleo. I mean, those are some heavyweight names. Um, um, depending on who you ask, Kenny Omega may not be available. Jay White will be very available in the next couple months. In the next couple months, I believe. Kota Ibushi's available right now.
Next
Uh,
couple months, he might be available next week.
yes, that,
Shit.
yeah. And Hamatonga and Hikuleo, we're not sure. Let's start with Kenny Omega. I think Kenny Omega would be great in WWE. Um, but why would he go to WWE when he has power in AEW? Kaliko.
The same reason Cody Rhodes left to finish something that was started. I mean, but the only thing is, the only difference between him and Cody is that um, his buddies are still at AEW, and he's very close with the Bucks. So I don't see him ditching them whatsoever.
Kenny Omega is another name that was invincible. Had a great he had great matches. All that stuff got hurt in AEW hasn't really been the same. So I mean, it is a safer uh, work style in WWE now
It's a safer work style, but he's had a better schedule at AEW. Why the hell would he leave that?
because the guys that in WWE won't try to murder him like they do in AEW.
That still don't change the fact that he runs it, so he could take a day off whenever he wants to.
Scooter,
Um, well, Omega has always had a positive relationship, mutual respect with Triple H, and yeah, and I I believe that I believe once it was revealed that there might be a chance at getting Kenny, I think all interest in Jay White has fizzled out until they get a definite answer. Um, but there are numerous dream matches that Kenny could have, and I can't imagine if Kenny is in control of his career and has the opportunity, why not do it and say, you know what, I'll do it, and it's proof I got to the WWE on my own terms, on my own schedule.
do you think WWE would be accommodating in that in that regard?
Absolutely. I absolutely think so.
Right, well, let's talk about Jay White. Out of everybody in this group, I think he would be the most adaptable to the style because he is a good wrestler. Not exactly strong style, but I always thought Jay White was a bit of a Bret Hart, where he could kind of work with anybody. Um, Personality wise, things are gonna have to be adjusted. But what are your thoughts, Kaliko?
Well, it depends on how he comes in. I think he is a good, like, cunning heel type of person, right? Kind of like baiting people in and then catching them with the okey doke rather than being like this blunt force heel. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not too chicken shit, but more like slick and sly. And if they let him work slick and sly, because to me, when he was at New Japan, it was a little bit of both. He was a little bit more frontish, but he was also slick and sly. I think his personality in New Japan seemed more slick and slyish. So if they let him be like cunning and don't try to undercut him with it, it wouldn't matter whether he wins or loses because it's about him trying to set people up for a bigger bait. Does that make sense?
Right.
A bigger trap to set. So that I think could work for him in that regard.
What say you, Scooter?
As much as I'd love to say see Jay White, in uh, WWE. I'm I'm faltering more on him not being there. I mean, keep in mind, every one of them now will be measured against the debut of AJ Styles.
Really?
Yeah. Because, okay, when AJ came in, it wasn't former Impact star. It was former IWGP Heavyweight Champion, and that's the measuring stick. And if you get AJ involved in his debut, then I think not only do you get more interest in Jay White, but you can really build, that Bullet Club NWO stable that's kind of really missing from wrestling today. I mean, AEW overdoes it, and not only do they kill the horse, but they beat it so far it's now in China. I think Jay White is really a matter. It's. I think it's really going to come down to to really Triple H's opinion, and I really think it would come down to AJ's opinion.
I mean, AJ has. I don't think AJ had any interactions
No.
with Jay White.
No. But AJ would know would have the most weight on whether or not Jay White comes in because AJ really came from the same place.
Going back to Kenny Omega, if he does join WWE, does he bring Rio with him?
I mean, I think he.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not, because there's this person named Asuka who's gonna whoop that ass.
I mean, who would want to see a Rio versus Zelina Vega match where the person that weighs the most in the ring is the referee?
Yeah.
I mean,
That would be
it would be the only time the ring would actually seem like a trampoline.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'd
So
imagine.
basically, it'll be the Sky Zone match.
um, I don't. I don't think Rio comes with him. I think. I think Emi Sakura does.
The Queen goal, the Joy Mercury, Eddie Mercury, or
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury. There you go. Freddie Mercury, looking check.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I mean, if we're just going with, trashy pop stars, then Maki Ito would be everybody's first choice.
Oh, I had Maki Ito, at the Japanese restaurant, a couple nights ago.
Goes with
I
the
love,
pop stars.
I love that type of sushi.
Yeah. Alright, Kota Ibushi, he bluntly stated he'd be interested coming into WWE if he was allowed to train and teach the wrestlers at the Performance Center and come in for big matches. Would you put Kota Ibushi on the main roster, or would you put him as a main attraction from NXT?
Here, here's the thing. Yep. Back when Adam Pearce, the news was announced that Adam Pearce was being signed. We were like, "Oh yes, this is going to be awesome." Scrap Iron's finally finally going to be on Raw. But no,
He's on every week?
yeah, he's on every week, but people don't remember how good of a wrestler he was now. Um, so if he gets put into that trainer role, I would see the WWE absolutely taking him up on that offer. Um, because I mean, it opens up a much, uh, you know, it allows a completely, well, not new style, but a completely different style that really hasn't been a focus in WWE development.
Hmm.
I mean, I also do think that you bring in Coda like that, I think more Japanese talent will want to work. I mean, imagine an NXT Strong Style Championship.
Oh no, God, no. No.
Hey, it's either that or the NXT Cruiserweight Championship,
I mean, cruiserweight strong style seems like something Gigi could go for. When she's not going for shoes.
or when she's being Marty Jannetty.
Yeah, but I think that's an interesting concept. Maybe a golden pair of shoes are the new titles. Shoes are the new belts.
I mean, considering how she ate a shoe, literally, I don't think we can be.
What are your thoughts, Coleco, on Kota Ibushi coming into WWE?
Well, the training part, I agree with Scooter 10,000%. The big matches thing is more of a why would he need to go into the big match, right? They would have to have a reason to draw him in, and the only tie that you could see is if you got Omega, but then yeah, that wouldn't work.
But Nakamura.
Nakamura, but that would be like more. That would seem more like a tag. So that's the part. But as far as like giving a new perspective on the training, hell yeah, because that honestly, personally, I always think that they should have different people who are different trainers so they could get different talent and have it all work together. I'm surprised they don't have a person who's admin in lucha training, or
Uh,
and
um,
and
that was.
to me,
I think they
to
do. I think
me,
that was. I think that might have been included under Sarah Del Rey's, but I
Sarah
think
Del Rey. That's right, Sarah Del Rey.
Is
But
Sarah
I feel
still
like
there?
she's
yeah,
there, right?
yeah, she's still there as far as
Okay.
Yeah, but they're gonna need different styles to attract different talent, because sometimes, especially with Japanese wrestlers, the one barrier that gets them is the English barrier, and if you had someone who could help them get over the English barrier as far as promos, that to me would be the biggest uh, asset for anybody. Because the one thing with Nakamura knew English, Nakamura loved American culture, Nakamura knew American culture, and he adapted to it as Kenny did to Japanese culture. Not everybody's willing to do that, but to have that buffer would be a big, big help.
No, no disrespect to Kota Ibushi, but he is self-taught. He didn't train under, Giant Baba or Akechi Muto or any of those guys. Do you want a guy training your new guys and girls that didn't get proper training himself?
uh hmm.
I don't see why not. I mean, because some things that they're going to want to do is off instinct anyway. So what better way to do it from someone who actually been in those shoes of self instinct?
Plus, you do have uh one trainer there who is somewhat familiar with Japanese Japanese strong style. That's Steve Carino.
Oh, and Albert.
Both like I could see something along the lines of you know and it'd be a great way for Steve Carino to actually get on WWE as a character.
I mean, does he need it though?
I mean, if you're going to make Coda a trainer as well, I mean, unless you're gonna unless you're going to bring Regal in to do another combat club, which, and honestly, I think he's coming back with his son sooner rather than later.
No, it's going to be later rather than sooner. Because his contract clearly states he can't be an on-air personality.
Well, William Regal can't be an on-air personality. Say hello to the real man's band, Steve Regal.
Hmm.
He's a man. I also think if you sign Coda, then he's gotta bypass NXT.
I disagree with that because if he doesn't go to NXT and he goes straight to the main roster, not a lot of people is going to know who he is. I'm sorry, that's going to be the case. At least in the NXT, you have more wrestling fans than you have the casual fans. So you're going to get a pop for Kota Ibushi if you draw him onto an NXT.
I mean, he was in the Cruiserweight Classic. I mean,
I mean, yeah, but
counts for
that was like,
something.
what, 5 years ago?
Feels like
Yeah.
20 years ago.
That's what
I mean,
2020
and
was.
I mean he did go to the semifinals.
I mean, yeah, but like, I mean, you would still have to reintroduce him to the crowd. What about Tamatonga and Hikuleo? I don't personally see Tamatonga going to WWE at this point when they're finally giving him, an opportunity in New Japan. But I could be wrong. What are your thoughts, Felipe?
He would have to go to NXT, homie. Like, no, hell no, there ain't no way. Because as much as he's a big name, or not even a big name, he's a decent name. But we already know decent names don't transfer over really well. If Nakamura, who was literally like the Michael Jackson of Japanese wrestling, had to go to NXT, you damn well know Tama Tonga's going.
But I mean, it doesn't seem like NXT at this point is going for uh, the older indie guys. They're going for the younger guys that don't know their hands from their asses at this point.
That is true, but also he's gonna have to go because WWE's wanting them to wrestle in a certain way for their TV purposes,
So,
Unlike New Japan, pretty much.
is Automatonga beneficial for a WWE having him around, Scooter?
I mean, could you could you pass him off as another member of the bloodline?
I mean, he's definitely a part of the club with AJ and Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah, I always I always kind of thought that if they put the God back together, that they would probably be the perfect replacements for Jimmy and Jay.
Well, as of right now, it doesn't seem like they're interested in uh
Tangaloa.
Tangaloa. Yeah, I mean, technically, Tangaloa was there at one point.
That is true.
Yep, he was with Hamacho. He drove a
Oh,
bike,
yeah, Huniko and
and not like a motorcycle, like an actual like bicycle.
yeah.
And then you got Hikuleo. I think that Hikuleo should be going to WWE when they just gave him a win over Jay White, and obviously they want to invest in this guy, and I mean that maybe down the line, but I would personally feel like he should build to his stuff in New Japan to when WWE does call him again. It's for a big money contract and maybe not an NXT deal.
Work to get the leverage is what you're saying.
Right. What say you?
Makes sense.
What say you, Kalika?
I mean, yeah, that makes sense unless he just wants to go over and start from scratch. If he's willing to do that, then can't knock him for it.
Scooter?
Mm, honestly, I'm just not sure. He's got the staying power. I mean, Hikuleo is somebody that the WWE would have to kind of reinvent from scratch.
Hmm. You're not wrong. I mean, Haku's son isn't probably going to get him as far as maybe people would like him. Maybe he could be the new commander of Sneeze.
Didn't
Yeah. Alright, I think that's it for the news. Now a quick word from our sponsor.